team na Iran. Let's talk now to our football analysts, of course, from one of our pool of analysts from SNA, Mikee Carrion, the head coach of UP Football, Anton Gonzales, and former UFL player Mehdi Soltani. Guys, welcome to Road to Russia here on The Score.
Hi, Anton.
Hello.
Good to see you again, Coach Mikee. And of course, for the first time, makakasama natin si Mehdi Soltani. Kaya naman, I will start with you. Let's talk about Portugal. When you think about Portugal, everybody knows the #1 followed athlete when it comes to football in the entire world, Cristiano Ronaldo. I gotta ask you though, with all this ability, the fame, and the fortune, is Ronaldo enough to give Portugal the World Cup this year?
In my opinion, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because for the World Cup, many teams coming, and it's really difficult, like Spain, Brazil, Germany, England, all of them, they have chances. So if you want to say only Ronaldo can bring the World Cup for Portugal, no, I don't think so.
All right, which leads me to my second question for Coach Anto. Mehdi says it's not enough. Ronaldo can't carry the team. So who's got to help Ronaldo para magkaroon ng tsansa ang Portugal na makamit ang World Cup this year?
The team that they have now compared to the team that they had when they won the European Championships is actually more versatile. But the key players will be who will be helping out Cristiano Ronaldo will be Quaresma on the flank and then Bernardo Silva in the middle. Quaresma will play a very huge role because if he performs very well on the flank, that will open up Cristiano Ronaldo right at the center of the field.
Mikee, do you think there is some extra motivation for Portugal in this World Cup, knowing that they're neighbors with Spain and they always have to prove that they're somehow on the same level as Spain?
Well, I think you mentioned it, no, Anton. They always have something to prove, and I think, like you said, they're neighbor countries. So I think when that happens, you definitely want to prove that you're better than your neighbors as well. And I think it's also Spain lately. They've been performing pretty good. They've had really strong teams lately. And I think Portugal, whenever you play against someone maybe ranked above you or who you're known that they have a better team than you, you always want to prove that you can compete at their level as well. So I think it's going to be, especially it's the opening game in that Group B stage, Spain versus Portugal. So I'm sure they're going to want to come out strong and try to show the whole world that they can be at the same level as Spain has been.
How hard is it, and is there a realistic chance that Portugal could actually win the European Championship and the World Cup at the same time? What do you think, Mikee?
Well, that's going to be a difficult task, Anton, because if you look at the history, there's only been 3 teams who have done it. In 1972, West Germany won the Euro, and then in 1974, they won the World Cup. And then in 98, it was the other way around. France won the World Cup, and then in 2000, they won the Euro. And then lately, it was done by Spain. Spain won the 2008 World Cup, and then in 2010, they won the World Cup. So it's a very difficult task. Like I said, only 3 teams have done it in the past. So I think for Portugal, it's going to be very difficult for them to pull it off.
Mehdi, Coach Anto, is there anything more you want to add about Portugal here in the World Cup before we move on to the next team, which is Iran? Anything you're looking forward to seeing from Portugal in the World Cup?
As Mikey said, I think Portugal has really hard time in the World Cup, because in the World Cup it's not like European Championship, like Argentina, Brazil, and many countries from the America, they joined the World Cup, and so I think it's becoming really hard for them.
Same, Coach Anto?
Personally, I think Portugal has to offer something different from their Euro Championship triumph. They relied heavily on their defense during the European Championships, and they scored most of their goals through counterattacks. They ground out victories by extra time penalties. So I guess for the World Cup, they need to have that extra oomph in attack, and let's hope Bernardo Silva will provide that creativity in the midfield and set up Ronaldo and the other attackers for goal-scoring opportunities.
All right, so Coach Anto Gonzales just described the playing style of Portugal. Now I want to go back to Mehdi. Mehdi, what is the style naman of Iran? What are they known for?
Actually, since when we have the coach Carlos Queiroz,
yes,
since 2011, he changed the football style in Iran. Like what he did, like he brought the discipline. Like then the way they are playing is like most defensive. Mm-hmm. So Iran, it was the first team they qualified for the World Cup, and they just received only 2 goals. Like I think it's more than 10 games. Yeah. Then all the things like Queiroz is just thinking is like those players like physical, and like he's more into the defensive.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's why during the World Cup, last World Cup, during the match versus Argentina, it was an amazing game. Like even me, I didn't expect like Iran, they're going to lose the game only with 1 goal from the Messi. So I think this World Cup, like for Iran, there is something different with Queiroz. Like they are playing together more than 6 years. So the player, they know each other.
Okay, so there's familiarity. So with this familiarity, Mikey, do you think Iran has a realistic chance of making it out of the group, and why?
Well, honestly, Anton, if you ask realistically, with having Portugal and Spain in that same group, I think it's going to be very difficult for Iran to get out. And if you look at the other groups, I think it's Group G as well. I think Group B and Group G, there's the biggest difference between the 4 teams.
Okay.
Like the difference between Spain, Portugal compared to Iran, and the other team, which is Morocco. There's a huge gap between those, the difference between the 4 teams. So I think it's going to be very, very, really difficult for Iran to get out. But then, like Mehdi was saying, they have Carlos Queiroz as a coach.
Yeah.
I think it's good for Iran, though, what he's bringing to the side. And he's been there since 2011, and he's going to be making it into the World Cup twice already, back in 2014 and this year again. So I think it's, all in all, I think he's a good coach for Iran, but to get out of the group stage, I think it's going to be very tough having Spain and Portugal there.
But of course, in fairness to Iran, every year they're consistently one of the best, if not the best team in Asia. Going back to Coach Anto, what does Iran need to do to be able to make it to the next level?
Like what Mehdi said, they're a very disciplined team. But on a big stage like the World Cup, you need special players.
Okay.
Maybe 2-3 special players. Looking at the lineup of Iran now, they probably have 1 player in Azmoun, young forward who's been scoring goals for Iran. But apart from him in the attacking department, there's a lot to be desired when it comes to their national team.
Okay. About Coach Carlos Queiroz, what do you like most about him, aside from him being very experienced, aside from the way he has made the players very familiar with each other? Ano pa ang ibang mga qualities ni Coach Carlos that makes him a great coach that could hopefully make Iran advance to the next level?
I think one very good team trait that he has developed also is the team spirit. I think he brought that sense of togetherness. You can see the fight in the players, and that can only be developed with someone who's a figure really instilling the value of a strong cohesion and togetherness, brotherhood, and that's what they're showing with their games.
Mikey, Mehdi, anything more you want to add about Iran?
Well, I think they said it, no? Like Anto just mentioned, you were asking about Iran and about the coach, and I think it's really that experience he really has. He's trained at the highest level, no, Anton? Manchester United, Real Madrid. So I think he's a great figure. He brings that experience to Iran, and he can share it with those players. And like I said, getting to the World Cup twice in a row, that's a big feat for Iran. So it's like I said, it's a great figure to have as a coach for Iran.
Mehdi, anything more?
For Carlos, what he did, like even when he was head coach for the national team Portugal,
okay.
So he doesn't care about the names, like what he did in Iran. Like I think the game versus Iran versus Portugal is becoming like, I don't want to call like fight, but Carlos and Ronaldo, they are not in the good terms. So I think that game is really important for him.
Okay.
And even for Portugal, because he's coming from the Portugal. So
he wants to prove. He should have something to prove against Portugal.
Well, that should be a very interesting one. Thank you so much, Mikee, Carrion, Mehdi Soltani, and of course, Coach Anton, Gonzales. Great to see you guys, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
For more sports updates, keep watching The Score. And don't forget to subscribe.